Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyler, and today's video is entitled The INTP's Gift, TI Hero. The INTP can face many problems in their life. They can come across many issues that feel very daunting, feel like they can't get out of things. And as I'll talk about on the next slide here is the INTP's life really isn't that easy. You know, we have a lot of things going on that's hard to deal with, but we do have a saving grace. We don't have to let our flaws and insecurities rule our life. We actually have this amazing gift of TI Hero that can figure out the most complex problems in our life. And this is what we're going to talk about today, the INTP's gift of TI Hero and how to try to use that to not only better your current situation, but to just give you a better life overall. Okay, so like I mentioned, the life of an INTP isn't easy. And I think if you're an INTP sitting there watching this, you know this. Things that most people do on a day-to-day basis, like having a simple conversation, doing a simple task, these things really aren't that easy for an INTP. And it really just comes down to our cognitive function stack. And this is basically the hand that we were dealt with when we were born, when we became INTPs. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just something that we have to deal with that most other people do not have to even think about. So because of a lot of these things, the INTP can be prone to depression and they can be very apathetic. I would say out of any of the MBTI types, the INTP can be the most apathetic out of all of them. Things don't work out the way they think they should, so they feel like the world's just bringing them down. They feel like nothing matters. No matter how hard you try, there's just nothing that you can do that's going to improve your situation. One of the biggest problems with an INTP is sometimes they have trouble fitting in. They feel like they don't belong to society, and this is due to the FE inferior. As far as day-to-day life, INTPs can be stuck in this TI-SI loop of death, and this can go on for months and years. And this is just where you're not really doing anything. You're going to work, you're coming home, you're watching TV, you're eating the same 5 or 6 things every day. Nothing in your life is changing, nothing is improving. You feel like your life is just passing you by slowly and you're not living up to your potential. That's what the TI-SI loop of death is. And I have a separate video about that for SI Child if you want to check that out. And I give some ways that you can snap yourself out of that. And this is just a few of the examples that I thought of, but as you can see, the life of an INTP can be difficult at times, but it doesn't always have to be this way. As far as MBTI, I think if you realize that you're an INTP, you're already at an advantage. INTPs who don't understand who they are can be at a great disadvantage because they just cannot figure out why they are so quote-unquote different. Why can everybody else have a conversation for a half hour and not think twice? Why is that something that's so difficult for an INTP to do? And people who don't understand who exactly they are can think, wow, is something wrong with me? Do I have a mental deficit? I've heard stories of INTPs, young INTPs, who their parents think they're autistic or something just because of the way they act. But that is not the case, guys. That is just who you are. That is the hand that you were dealt. And you really shouldn't feel bad about having troubles with these certain things because that's just how it is. You have to learn how to change your life for the better so these things don't hold you down. You have to take this knowledge of me being an INTP and think, well, now I know what my strengths are, now I know what my weaknesses are. What can I do with this information? And that's really the point of this whole channel, is to figure out ways to improve our lives as INTPs, how to reach our full potential. So, however, as an INTP matures and begins to find answers to these complex problems of life, they can really begin realizing their potential. This gift that we have of, understanding very complex things. Nobody else is really like that. Possibly the ISTP, because they also have TI Hero. But the things that go on in your mind as far as connecting the dots, nobody else can really do that. We have to start using this gift as INTPs to really better our lives and to live the lives that we want and quit letting all these insecurities bring us down. So the INTP saving grace of TI Hero. Even with all these issues, the INTP can still become successful and live the life that they truly want to live. And honestly, guys, we live in a time right now where it could be either or. It could be the best time to be an INTP, or it could be the worst time to be an INTP. The reason it could be the best time is because we have basically all the information that we could ever want in the form of the internet. Things weren't like this even 20, 30 years ago. If you wanted to learn a new subject, you had to go to the library, or I'm not even sure exactly what you had to do. And that compares to right now, when really any information that we want to find is in the palm of our hand. I mean, there is hardly nothing that you can't look up, that you can't research, just using the simple, device in your hand or your computer. And for this reason, it can be a great time to be an INTP. We can just soak up any information that we want. We can, try to connect the dots with all these different things. And then again, it could be the worst, possible time to live as an INTP because of, a lot of social media. People just, showing how great their lives is, and this can make us feel bad. And we can really be jealous. We can feel like we're missing out. So you can really decide for yourself on that question. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, we have the tools, we have the resources to figure out anything that we would want. So with the use of our TI hero, and also partly NE parent, and NE parent's always seeking out new things, always seeking out different ways to think of things, we can find the answers to these complex life problems, and we can learn how to solve them and how to make them strengths of ours. If you're having money problems, you can research the stock market. If you're having social problems, you can research, body language, MBTI. There are so many different ways that you can improve yourself. Reading books, books on self-help, books on how to live a better life. There can be some nuggets in there that really change your life. So, I don't want to hear you say that you can't do it, that it's impossible, that nothing can change, because as your TI hero continues to take in more information day after day, you can make decisions on how to live, the best life, how to live the life that you want to live. However, the problem with INTPs, and I'm going to talk about this more later, we have a very severe lack of follow-through. We can think up, all the best things to do, we can think up all the best ways to improve our life, and then we just don't do it. And like I said, I'll talk about that more on a later slide. But like I've been saying, this TI hero, it's our saving grace. Learning how to use your thinking abilities for your benefit can really become life-changing. No matter what you might think, you are not a victim. You have the capacity to change your ways, change your life. And with this knowledge that you have that, hey, I'm an INTP, you can think, well, I have FE inferior. How can I improve that? Stop caring what people think, truly. I get into the TI-SI loop of death. Find out ways how to break out of that. I've given some information, like I said, on my separate video. These problems that you have in your life don't have to go unanswered. If anybody can find the answer, it's you. It's you with your TI hero, and also partly your NE parent. Okay, with all that being said, I wanted to quickly go over TI, or introverted thinking, the cognitive function. This is our hero function. This is the best thing for us. And we'll just cover it quickly here. So basically what TI is doing is it's seeking the absolute truth based on the best logical answer. What is the best way to do something? What is the best way to, for example, make money? What is the most efficient and best way to make a bank transaction? We're always seeking out new ways to do things, based on the best logical answer. We're seeking this absolute truth that no matter what you throw at it, it's still going to come up with the right answer. But that can be kind of scary for an INTP to, think they've come up with the exact right answer for everything, because maybe there's something that we didn't see. Maybe there's, something in the calculation that we missed that completely changes everything. So TI is always trying to constantly improve our worldview, constantly improve our thinking. What is the best logical answer? So maybe, for example, you're hiring somebody for your company. You're going to pick the best person that, has the most experience, that has the best resume. that has everything you're looking for on paper. You're not going to care as much about the interview. This person, based on ABC, is the right candidate, and it doesn't really matter if I get along with them or not because they're just the best person logically. And this would compare to somebody that's maybe an FI dominant. They're really going to really try to talk to the person, try to get a good feeling about them. They're going to pick people based on most likely their interview, who gives them the right feeling. Which person is the best? There's really no right answer. You have to remember, just because you come up with all these logical reasons why something is true, it's not always the correct answer. Maybe you hire the person with the best resume, but they're, a total butthole. Just because you had all these logical reasons for why they were the best candidate, maybe you should have picked the person that was a little bit nicer, that was easier to work with. Logic isn't always the exact right answer. But even though it's not always the right answer per se, we still have to push this. We have to push our logical thinking onto the world, because honestly, if we don't, who is? If we live in a world where everything is based on feelings, everything is based on not logic, but just how things feel, that is not the best thing for us. We are going to use logic in our lives, and we have to always kind of remind people that, hey, this is not the right logical answer. This, based on ABC, is what we should do. And we can even criticize decisions that's based on feelings because it's just not the right answer to us. And another problem with being a TI dominant like we are, we can take a very long time to make a decision, and this is not good. As the saying goes, indecision is worse than the wrong decision. I found that to be very true. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it seems like the more I think about something, the more I contemplate to come up with an answer, the more likely it is that it's wrong. Sometimes you just have to make a decision based on your gut, what your thinking is at that very moment, because if a problem keeps festering and becoming worse, any decision you make is still going to be the wrong decision. But anyway, just as far as TI, logical thinking, seeking that absolute truth to life, this is where we're operating from. This is how we make our decisions, is based on logic, based on thinking. All right, the next topic I want to cover here is INTPs and the imposter syndrome. I've gotten quite a few comments about this, saying that they really feel out of place. They really don't really know if they are smart or not. INTPs can really lack confidence in their thinking abilities at times. And I've experienced this myself before. I remember in high school I took pre-calculus, and after the first couple days I said, this isn't for me, I'm not going to be able to understand this. This is not something that I'm going to do, so I ended up dropping out of the class and taking something easier. And then fast forward 2 or 3 years, I'm taking Calculus 2 in college, which everybody told me was the hardest math class at the university, and I got an A in the class. So how did I go from not feeling like I was smart enough to understand this subject to getting an A in the hardest class at the university? It's all because I started to apply myself. I started to actually want to understand the subject to get good grades in college. But there's many reasons that INTPs can feel this way. I think the saying goes is that the smart people realize they don't know anything, and the dumb people will think they know everything. I think just being the way we are, we realize there's a lot of things that we don't understand well, and if we don't understand it at that very exact moment, we just kind of give up. We think, well, this is too much for us. INTPs may or may not get good grades in traditional school. Traditional school really isn't made for INTPs. INTPs are very much suited for self-learning. They're not going to really learn too much in the classroom. And if it's a subject that really doesn't interest the INTP, really they don't care about it at all, they're not going to take the time to try to understand the subject. So this could lead to poor grades in school sometimes, even though this doesn't have to be the case. What I'm telling you today, if you're a true INTP, is that you should not feel this way. You should not have this imposter syndrome. You have the greatest capabilities to become whatever you want. Logical thinking is your best thing. And INTPs make up what? 2-3% of the population. Then you have ISTPs. I'm not for sure, what they are as part of the population, but you're in the top 10% just being an INTP at being able to understand a subject. And then even on top of that, even knowing that you're an INTP and that you have this gift, that would put you in the top 2 to 3%. This is your gift. This is your gift of understanding very complex problems, being able to do calculus, being able to do physics. You can do it. People that are maybe FE dominants or SI dominants, this is going to be tough for them. SI people really have a good memory, so maybe they can memorize a subject, but is it really making sense in their head? And I've said this before in the other videos that, with the combination of TI hero and NE parent, I personally believe that the INTP is the smartest MBTI type. We have a lot of other flaws, we have a lot of other things going on for us that aren't good, but if you have anything, you have your thinking abilities. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn, you can learn it. That's why I would encourage, young INTPs, if you're watching this, really have the confidence to go for the career or the career path that you want. Do you want to become a doctor? Do you want to become an engineer? You have the capacity to do it. It's really sad to me, an INTP having a low-level job that requires no thinking, that doesn't stimulate them at all. They have this imposter syndrome that, I don't fit in with the thinking crowd. I'm not the best thinker. That is not true, guys. I'm giving you a logical reason today to have confidence in your thinking abilities. And that logical reason is that as an INTP, you have TI hero at the very, very top of your functional stack. So you may not have confidence in your social skills. You may not have confidence in really anything else. But if you're going to have confidence in something, it's your thinking abilities. My very first video that I made is that INTPs should have confidence because of this. So like I said, have confidence in your thinking abilities and logical conclusions. You are the best at doing this. And like I said, remember, you can be wrong. I don't want you getting cocky with yourself. I don't want you, feel high and mighty, and that you can never be wrong because of this TI hero. What I'm saying is, have some confidence in yourself. When you're debating a subject with somebody, and it's a subject that you really understand, don't be afraid to get in there and show why you're right and why they are wrong. You can pick apart their argument. And you might be amazed how, after you keep talking and proving your point, how people will come to your side. Maybe not the person you're arguing with, but maybe people on the sidelines are going to say, wow, he's making a lot of sense. He's really connecting the dots well. Maybe he is right. So never have the imposter syndrome. Anything that's thrown your way, you will be able to take on. All right, my next topic here, I want you to stop and think for a second. I want you to just take a moment to really think about things and think, if there was something that you really wanted in your life, some kind of, side project, some kind of job, some kind of relationship, stop and think just for a second. If you really applied yourself, could you do it? If you really became engulfed with this certain subject, using all your time, using all your resources to become great at something, could you do it? Could you as an INTP figure out the ways to become this thing? And I think most of the time, 95% of the time, that answer is going to be yes. That's because INTPs can quickly become experts in topics that interest them. MBTI. Did I go to college for MBTI? No. I just took an interest in it. And over the years, I've watched YouTube videos, I've, looked up things myself, to the point now where I almost feel like I'm an expert at this. I feel like I have a really good understanding of this, and it wasn't because of some college class, it wasn't because of being taught this. This is just something that I took an interest in and became engulfed in, and now it's something I'm making videos about. So I really want you to think, what is it that you could not accomplish with your thinking abilities? What is it out there that's just too hard, that just takes too much mental stimulation that you could not do? I really don't think there's too many things out there. And this really doesn't even have to apply to a topic. That's the thing, INTPs think that they can't change certain things because they're just not good at it. But that's not true. You can think of ways, you can research things to become an expert at it. This can apply to relationships, to making money, to just living a better life overall. I don't want you to limit yourself to thinking, well, as an INTP, I might be smart, but that's only going to help me in the classroom. That's only going to help me, taking tests. That is not the case, guys. You can use this knowledge for anything. You can use your abilities for anything that you want. You have to realize that if there's something that you really want to do, nothing is holding you back except your own time and your own motivation to get it done. Like I said, the problem with the INTP is coming up with all the answers but not doing anything about it. You have to eventually stop doing that. But if you're really going to make a change, if you're really going to do something that's important, your TI hero has to confirm that this is something that you need in your life. It can't be something that you think might just be nice. It's not going to be something that you think would make improvements to you. It has to go through your TI hero that this is something you have to do. If you want to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, what is it that you have to do to get that done? If you want to make more money, if you want to double your income, is that something that you really want? That might be nice, to have, but does your TI hero really believe that that's something you need? It's something you really have to think through to make sure that it's something that you really desire. It's something that you really want. And it's something that you're willing to put in the work to do. Because, guys, if the TI hero is not convinced, you're just not going to do it. You have to come to a place where nothing else matters. This is something that you have to have, and you're going to do everything in your power to attain it. You're going to use all of your thinking abilities to make this something that happens. And again, this applies to side businesses, fitness, dating. This can apply to anything. And I've said this many times before. I think a side business, having something on the side, is very important for an INTP. This is something that can break them out of the TI-SI loop of death. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to make a YouTube channel? Do you want to become some kind of programmer that you can work from home and not have to answer to a boss? If it's something that you really want and that your TI hero confirms is something that you need, you're going to throw everything you have at doing it. And honestly, until you reach that point, there's really no reason to even start. If you're happy with your life, in the TI-SI loop, going to work, coming home, sitting in your chair, doing the same thing day in and day out, if that's something that really makes you happy and that you're content with, that's fine. I don't care. But I honestly really doubt that that's the case. I really doubt that being in your comfort 24/7, not doing anything important, is really going to lead you to a fulfilled life, a life of happiness. But like I'm going to discuss on the next slide here, that is the fatal flaw of the INTP. We know all these things that we could do. We know all the answers, but we just don't do it. And why is that? It's a combination of our MBTI stack. SI wants to always be in comfort. TE nemesis, we have a hard time following through. If it's something your TI hero hasn't confirmed that you need in your life, you're not going to have the motivation to do it. So you need to really think about, what is it that could bring your life happiness? What is the reason you're living? What would you do if you had all the resources in the world? Money wasn't a problem. Time wasn't a problem. What is it that you would do that would just bring your life to the highest level that it could be? You need to take, a few days, a few weeks, a few months to really think about that and then really start pushing yourself towards attaining that goal. All right, so my final topic of the day, and I've already talked about this quite a bit, the fatal flaw of the INTP. Solving a problem, guys, and actually doing it are two very different things. Like I've been saying, anything that you want to accomplish in your life, you have the knowledge to do it. You have the capacity, the potential. But what I think is probably the biggest problem for INTPs is we don't reach our potential because we just don't follow through and actually do something. And maybe you don't feel like you have the energy. Maybe you feel like you don't have the willpower to do that. And that is true very many times. But I'm telling you, if you want to improve your life, if you want to start doing the things you want to do, this is something you're eventually just going to have to get over. Is being stuck in a TI-SI loop of death really doing you any benefit? Is not taking action serving you in any way? The answer to that is no. And I'm not trying to hype you up today. I'm not trying to give you a positive mindset that's going to get you going today and that you keep going for a couple weeks. You have to make things a habit. That is the only way you're ever going to accomplish anything. If you want to start a side business, make a point to work on that for 1 hour out of the day. 1 hour out of the 24-hour day, I think you can manage to do that. And if you can't, then it's obvious that your TI hero hasn't confirmed it's something that you need and want to do. Time is the great equalizer. If somebody does something for 10 minutes every day for a whole year, it's going to beat somebody that does, continuous work for 5 days. The little habits can lead to big changes. Do you want to become more fit? Do you feel like having a fit body will help you in the dating and social realm? Taking 10 minutes out of the day to do a little exercise. If you do a 10-minute exercise for a full year every single day, you're going to be a completely different person when you come out on the other side. What is your motivation? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to start a side business? Why do you want to get a relationship? That's the question you really need to answer. My motivation for starting this channel is because I thought I came up with some ideas that would help INTPs. And I am motivated to share this knowledge to, help people out. And if it does help people out, the benefits will come naturally. If the channel starts to do well, if I'm really helping people, maybe I'll make some money. Maybe I'll be able to do other things with this channel. But it all started with my TI hero saying, you found some answers. You need to share these answers to help other INTPs. And, I started this channel about a year ago, and this is my 14th video that I've made. So, don't think I'm preaching to you guys that you have to do these things, because it's hard for me too. If I really, bit the bullet myself, I could have made, 40, 50 videos already. These things are not easy for the INTP, but every now and then I just bite the bullet and I make myself do it. I'd honestly rather be watching Netflix or playing video games, doing something else, but my TI hero has confirmed to me that this is something that will improve my life, this is something that will improve the lives of others, and it's my motivation to keep making videos. So what is your motivation exactly? That's what you need to figure out. And then like I've been saying, just biting the bullet and getting things done will improve your life dramatically. Even if you start something and it fails, it's still much, much better than never trying at all. You have to realize that some of the satisfaction that you get from doing these things isn't necessarily always in the success. It's just doing them. Learning new things, obtaining more knowledge. Doing anything at all and failing is still better than never trying. And who knows, maybe you'll start this thing and it'll take off and you'll do great. You never know. But I personally think it's all about trying, just getting out of your comfort zone, doing something else, breaking up your day-to-day life. This will make you feel good. It'll feel good to get out of your comfort zone and start putting yourself out there. So just to summarize the whole video, guys, you as an INTP have a gift of TI hero. You have to use this gift to improve your life. There is nothing that you cannot accomplish if you really set your mind to it, and that your TI hero confirms is something that you need and want to do. But before you can really do that, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And if you can't quite figure that out yet, just keep thinking about it. It will come to you. And that motivation will lead to positive changes in your life. Well, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel for more content. I am trying to manage my time better so I can get more content out. So I hope to make more videos than just one per month. I really hope to get more videos out to you guys. If you found this video helpful or informative, please leave me a like. That does help with the YouTube algorithm, so I really do appreciate that. Please comment below with any of your thoughts or disagreements. Are there things in life that hold you back that your TI hero cannot figure out? I don't think those problems exist. And as always, guys, I appreciate the kind comments that these videos are helping you. That does motivate me to keep making videos and to see that it is helping somebody. That really helps me make videos. So I do really appreciate those. So with all that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching the video again, and have a great day.